Hey guys, it is Admin. Welcome back to another episode of the Datapack Survival. Now, you're probably freaking out that I'm going to manage to hit this pigman. I am actually not able to. And this is an interesting quirk that I found while messing around. I'm obviously here in Nether, and I have my quartz sword on me, and I realized it deals 0 damage. So if I have an armor ring, which gives me weakness, it means I deal 0 damage. Like, literally 0 damage. And I cannot actually hurt a pigman. Which, it turns out, can actually be pretty useful to have. Anyway, I'm here grabbing some more XP. We will need to make an XP farm in the very near future, but I wanted to get an enchantment out of the way, and figured right now could be a good time to do that. Anyway, in today's video, I'm hoping to get us a bit more set up and situated, so that will mean probably making an XP farm, and also maybe like a bit of a starter base back on the Mushroom Island. And then we can maybe look into setting up a bit of our build palette that we'll be using throughout the season on the structures that we build on the island. I'm wanting to go pretty heavy with concrete, as I normally don't build with concrete due to it being kind of grindy to get, but in the WASD data packs we have a crusher that will allow us to automate it, and so I think that could be a pretty fun task, and it would allow the material to be pretty easily built with. We should even be able to automate the hydration of concrete. To do that, I think we could use a block breaker and placer. So we could place down concrete next to a water source and then pick it back up by breaking it with the block breaker. We would need to supply it with pickaxes, and so we'll probably want to look into getting a supply of that. Anyway, I actually have all sorts of different farms that I'll plan to be making in the future, and so you have that to look forward to. But let's go and get this tool enchanted. Last episode, we ended by getting a Fortune 3 pickaxe and mining a bunch of diamonds. So we do have a pretty nice amount, 36. So I'm thinking we should enchant our shovel. I saw there's Silk Touch for both the shovel and the axe. Obviously, Silk Touch is way more useful on a shovel. And so let's go for that. Hopefully we get efficiency 4. Nice. Okay, so pretty much the perfect shovel we could have gotten. This will do well. So now we can instantly mine all of like the dirt variants. So the cool thing is because I can pick up like the podzol and mycelium, and I can also go grab grass. So I could go to like an island or something and strip out the grass and bring it over here. So that will be quite valuable. So let's talk a bit about what my plans are for the island, and then maybe start making a bit of a starter base. So I'm thinking it could be pretty cool to turn this into sort of like a barren, post-apocalyptic sort of like landscape. So make it pretty gray, pretty like lifeless, and then I'm going to make some, I guess, like modern high-tech facilities, sort of. So I'm thinking like concrete towers with like I don't know, at this point it's kind of famous almost, the white concrete with gray terracotta and some gray concrete, and mix those in. But I'm going to, instead of going with like super high tech, like laboratory, I think maybe more like almost like a high tech military compound. And then what I'm thinking is there'll be like different towers like across the island, and then they're like connected with secure pathways, sort of, maybe even like glass pathways, I'm not quite sure there. And in these individual towers, I'd put different farms and things that we are producing. And I might send them back over to the main tower, might not. I do absolutely want a control room somewhere up top with like big windows so you can see everything. But Also, I'm going to be using the wireless redstone to be able to turn on and off different farms in the area. And I absolutely want to do this. I'm planning on adding security cameras to the machine's data pack, and they will allow me to have, I guess, like camera terminals where it's like a computer monitor or something like, oh, I'm a computer monitor, and so you walk up to it and then maybe you like right click on it, and that would put you into spectator mode, spectating a camera with like a fixed direction that's looking. So maybe this one like looks over here like, oh, I'm a camera. And then if you hit shift, then it would bring you back over to the terminal. I think that could be really cool, and I actually haven't made that data pack yet, so I'll need to add that as an update. But anyway, that's pretty much my base plan. So I think the next thing to do is we need to clean up this mess, and then probably move into a bit of like a temporary base. I might put it here because it's nice and flat and I've already done some work here, but this is going to be torn down at some point. So let's jump to ourselves with a starter base. And there we go. Built a bit of a starter house. It is not finished, but it does the job so far. So I moved all like the chests and stuff that were over here into it. I didn't really add much for details, just a bit of a foundation and some spruce walls, and no ceiling. But essentially it's just a nice place to put my chest. I have some furnaces, custom crafter, stone cutter, and over here I'm putting like my tools. So I got all the stuff organized. I obviously won't go into detail about what the organization is, but I have stuff like rings and just general resources, valuables, and it should all work. So with that first step accomplished, I think we could probably jump into making our first machine. I'm thinking that it would be smart to get started early with the machine's data pack, and so we can automate a little bit of gravel, and then probably later we can do sand. Thinking probably putting it somewhere over there. To start, I think I'll probably just go with one crusher because I think they are 7 diamonds each, as well as a fair amount of iron. Currently we have 29 diamonds and 12 diamond ore because I did a bit of mining. So here, let's make this real quick. Real quick, I can't quite remember the recipe, so I can click on the details button here and open the link. And that brings up the machine's webpage, so I can look at the recipes there and craft it. Alright, so to make this, I'm going to need 1 obsidian, I need an iron block. Let's see, so iron block, I need 2 diamond pickaxes, and I need a diamond. So let's make this real quick. So the recipe goes like this. And there we go. Now we have a crusher. Now this actually needs to be placed on top of a dropper. No. So I have a dropper. It needs to be placed on top of a dispenser. So I don't actually have the string for that right now. So you can see I have 1 string to my name. I guess that is probably a downside of living in on Mushroom Island. I've fought like maybe 5 mobs total. So I guess I should probably put these items away for now. Go on a bit of a caving expedition, not in the Mushroom Island. And I guess when I come back, I will have the materials that we need. And you know what? Before we head out, I'm still using an iron sword, but we have plenty of options for different sword types. I'm thinking making an obsidian sword could be a good investment. So, not sure if you've seen it or not, but the Obsidian Sword starts off very strong. It deals 10 damage, so 4 more than our Iron Sword. It will get weaker over time, though, as we continue using it, and it only has 60 durability, so it will break relatively quickly. However, I think it should be able to work at least long enough for me to use it. And I'm going to grab a boat. Adventure time! Well, the Obsidian Sword proved not to be particularly useful. For a brief moment of time, it was to hit killing mobs, but, nice. Well, that didn't go very well. Yeah, I guess I'll go grab my stuff. Alright, got my items back. Well, first death. Nice. Anyway, I did get 2 string from all of that. Now it seems like a bit of a dumb adventure, because there goes my levels, but I guess we will be able to make this crusher now, so yeah, I think I was probably too close to the Mushroom Island, because I went mining down that direction, so it meant that there were very few places mobs could actually spawn, and the mob density was fairly heavy because of that. But anyway, let's cut to making this crusher. So if we craft up, let's see, craft up a bow, that will let us craft up a dispenser, and now we have a crusher. So we can place the crusher down on the dispenser, and I have a nice little model for it. We want a lever, so we can power this, and when we power it, it will start spinning, and any block that sits on top of it will be crushed. We can try this out. If we place a stone on top of it, we can start breaking it. This will get turned into cobblestone, then into gravel, and then finally into sand. So what we're going to use this for is we're going to take a cobblestone generator and we're going to push the blocks over onto it, and then we're going to generate gravel. And then I guess we could have another one generating sand. So this is going to get kind of expensive, but let's make a machine. Before we can do that, I think we're actually going to want to make the ore washer so that we can convert some of this iron ore and double it. So let's make that. You might notice that I sound a little bit different than in the previous clips. That's because I had to change up my mic settings. For some reason, when I updated OBS, it changed up a lot of stuff, and now I should be a fair amount quieter. However, overall, I do think that it sounds better. I don't pick up nearly as much background noise as my computer's fan. So, let me know what you guys think of that. And yeah. Alright, so to make the washer, we're going to need a cauldron, which I already crafted. We do need the crusher, and I've been preparing some supplies. So we have our crusher. Let's place it back down here, and I think I have a lever. Alrighty. So, if you have not already seen this, if we take an ore, we place it on top of the crusher, we can actually break this down into 2 ore chunks. They drop as an item, so now we have 2 ore chunks, and these can be thrown inside of a washer, which I don't have yet, to get 2, well, each of them would turn into 1 iron ore, so I essentially can double it, but it takes some time to process. And I need the investment for these machines. Alright, recently I realized that the washer's recipe is kind of inexpensive, and so I've increased the cost of it by a fair amount. However, what that does mean is that we actually cannot currently afford it. with the materials we have. So let's see, I need 30 iron. So I'm gonna need just a bit more. And then I also need to go grab 8 obsidian. Currently I think I have 4. And then I also need some diamonds. So one thing that I added, if in the custom crafter, we can make an obsidian blade, and we are going to need 2 of these to make it. So let's go grab this obsidian. But actually, really quick, you might notice that in between cutscenes, I got up to 20 levels. That's because I've spent a fair amount of time mining. We now have 31 diamond ore and 50 diamonds. So, yeah, just grabbing some general resources that we're going to need coming up later in the series. I've been trying to make the recipes in my data packs use a fair amount of diamonds to make them somewhat more expensive, especially because diamonds in Minecraft really are not used in very many crafting recipes. Like, you need them for your tools and your armor, and that's really about it. So making machines and stuff that actually require them, I find to be kind of interesting. And I know a lot of you do too. I've been getting comments from people that are like, hey, I'm glad that you're making your tools cost diamonds because it finally gives it a use. And I find that's really inspiring to me. So I'm going to almost fall into lava. And yeah, let's grab some obsidian and then head back up. Alright, I decided to grab 12. It's a bit more than I needed, but I figured we'll use it later. And did I run past it? Yes, I did. Okay. And so yeah, let's craft the second blade and make the washer. Alright, so we have the obsidian we need. Now we can take a diamond. Looks like the iron is done cooking. So let's take that. Make 3 blocks of iron. And so we need to make 1 more obsidian blade. Like so. And now we can place them like this. Then we take 3 iron blocks and 3 iron. And we get a washer. We can shift right click on top of a cauldron to place the washer down into the world, and now we have an ore washer. Now let's take this iron ore chunks, throw them in here, and it will start grinding away at it, and every 5 seconds we will get an iron ore. And it makes like a nice little popping sound, and I don't know, for some reason I find it kind of cute, and I don't really know why, but there we go. We can now double iron ore. So that is quite the accomplishment. Okay, let's actually set up the gravel generator, but first I do want to actually talk about some Datapack updates that I've made. So in between episodes I actually removed the block breaker and placer. That is because I merged them into the machine's Datapack. So pretty soon they are going to be updated. Well, the pack will be updated, and you guys will all be able to play with it. However, I'm going to be doing a bit of testing. Hopefully, the merge should work pretty nicely. One thing that it does is it adds crafting recipes for them in the same way that the machines have. And then you place them on top of the block, and it, like, does something kind of similar where it, like, changes the model of the actual block. So I think it fits in pretty nicely. It also comes with some pretty substantial performance increases. So overall, pretty good update. I had to spend, I don't know, maybe 2 days actually doing that, so I lost some time to play on this series, but development always will come first. This series is more of a when I have extra time and are wanting to play some Minecraft. So I would love to create a block placer so I could place the ores on top of this. Let me see if I actually, well, let's see, it has 2 iron gears in the recipe, and those cost, 4 iron blocks and a diamond. So, I definitely don't have the iron for that. I will need to manually place down some iron ore and break it for a little while. I'll just do this myself, probably just AFK here, right-clicking. Get myself some iron I'll be back when we have a couple stacks of iron processed. You know what, I'm already starting to get bored of this, so I don't think I'm going to do this at the moment. I think I'll put together the crusher gravel generator. So let's do that. I'm generating some iron so I can make some, I want to make a couple pistons, I think, for this. So the plan, oh, I already had a piston. The plan is essentially we need to make a cobblestone generator. So I do need to grab some lava. Okay, so we take a cobblestone generator, we push blocks out with pistons, push them over the crusher, then we then wait a long enough time for the cobblestone to turn into gravel. Then we need to push it, and probably we can make it fall onto like a torch or something, and it will just break due to it being a gravity block. Oops. And then we need some hoppers to pick it up. So yeah, this shouldn't be too hard. So let's actually do that. All right, so here we go. We have a bit of a automatic crusher to generate gravel. So essentially, what we have here, we just have a fairly long clock. And then here's a cobblestone generator. We generate the cobblestone, push it out. That comes along here. The crusher is right here, and it turns it into gravel, drops it, then it hits a torch, that breaks it, and then the hopper right there picks it up, and it should flow down here, and we generate a bit of gravel. So I can leave this running for a while, and we will start having automatic gravel production. I'm looking for ways to balance this better, because at the moment, this is probably a bit overpowered, because essentially this machine can run forever, and while it does, it only processes it at a rate of 1 per 10 seconds. That still adds up over time, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite balanced to me. I looked into, like, using, maybe, like, you have to leave, like, a pickaxe in there, and it will slowly eat, like, a diamond pickaxe's durability. Unfortunately, because this is a dispenser, and I want you to be able to turn it on and off, what that means is that the item would get shot out, and there's really no way for me to stop that from happening. So I don't know, if you do have a way to like balance it better, please let me know, and I will consider adding that, because as of the moment I do really like the actual machine and stuff, but I do feel like it could probably use a bit better balancing in order for it to be a better fit for the game. But so yeah, now we have our automatic gravel generator. Clearly it's a temporary design. I will be upgrading this in the future. It will have its own, I guess its own tower. So, yeah. But I think that's a pretty good place to wrap up. In today's video, we did a lot of stuff. We tried out a couple new swords, made a bit of a starter base, mostly just a storage room. We did a lot of like resource collection and stuff to get ourselves more situated into a nice location, diamond-wise and other resource-wise. We created an ore washer and the automatic crusher, and yeah, that's about it. But in the next video, I hope to continue making progress, maybe get a bit of the actual base working. I am going to need to make some sort of black or gray dye farm, so that might be a little difficult. Hopefully we can find maybe like a skeleton spawner or something and make a grinder out of that, and that would solve our XP issues and our dye issues. So anyway, I hope you liked the episode. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to make sure to see the next one, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching.